I get off your mind?
You guys can talk first.
Excited, man. Nothing much else to say. Ready to play some football.
Yeah, excited. We feel like we have a lot of new players coming in, so ready to see what they do.
Yeah, I mean, they pretty much said it. So I think every year's a fun year. This is a fun time, see what kind of team you got, and away we go.
Yogi,
You can hold that mic.
yeah.
Oh,
just pass
okay.
it around. Yogi, you come into the season, second year, obviously. Obviously, your first year, over 1,000 yards, bunch of statistical success. How much more comfortable are you going into year two in the system, with coach, off-season program under your belt, and everything like that?
Yeah, I feel like I'm very comfortable, especially with the coaches just knowing how I play more, just knowing what the right plays to call and everything. I feel like a year under my belt definitely does help me in the system, just be like play more like myself instead of just worrying about all like the little things with it.
Learning schemes and everything, a lot
Yeah.
more comfortable in the playbook and everything like that.
Yeah.
Jacob, if you don't mind me diving into you a little bit, going into now you're an upperclassman and everything like that. Has your role as a leader kind of evolved to be a little bit more vocal, especially earning conference honors last year and whatnot?
I don't think mentions necessarily gives me that voice, but for sure, I mean, ever since I've been here, I've kind of tried to be that guy that everybody can come to, be the leader, speaking out when I need to. But yeah, definitely coming in for my third season makes it a big job for me for sure.
So, as leaders on this squad, specifically leaders on the field, what's one thing that you want the younger guys to take away from their time with you?
I mean, I know for this summer, a lot of things that we've been doing, working out, obviously, but having the freshmen over, learning the playbook, getting ready for the season is probably one thing I want them to stick in their head for sure.
I feel like one thing I want the young guys to know that even if you do fail, it's okay. You just come back harder next time. Just always just keep grinding, working hard, and don't let the downtime stay downtime for too long.
Coach, we talked about this the other day, talking about building these men as young men, becoming successful men, not just football players. Is that something that you're continuing to try to build to the upperclassmen that you're hoping to lead to more success for the upcoming season and whatnot?
I think it is. I think that's why I have a passion to coach. Is that try to get these guys. These guys are so focused on what's in front of them. Sometimes it's hard to see the big picture, and I think that's where the head coach comes in. And my hope is that the stuff that they can gain from the hard work and the discipline and understanding the X's and O's and all those little things can lead to a better life when they do get out of here. Whether it's better husbands, better fathers, whatever that is. That's my hope in the long run for them to be able to gain.
So, Coach, we hear coaches all the time talk about we need to be disciplined, and we always have just the upbringing, the building of solid young men. Right? How do you feel that transfers in the sport of football?
Well, I think football is the greatest game invented. It's one of those games where it takes a lot of hard work, takes a lot of grit. Just to put on pads. I mean, it's 100 degrees outside right now, but guess who's going out there to practice with all the pads on? It's going to be football players. So I really do think that leads into the reason why I think it's the best team sport, and the fact that Yogi here might be the best wide receiver known to man, might be the greatest thing ever. But if he doesn't have a quarterback, if he doesn't have the offensive line, if he doesn't have the defense, to be able to stop him, he's not going to be able to showcase his talent with it. So he needs to rely, and everyone needs to rely on each other, just like the players rely on the coaches rely on players. We all rely on the trainers and all the administration and everything like that. That's why football is so fun to be a part of. That it truly is the best team sport out there.
Could you guys speak to the off-season program that you guys have been doing for the past 9 months, especially with the a little bit hotter this year? Have you guys prepared more, maybe outside doing sprints or anything like that, changing up the type of workouts you guys have been doing? How have you gotten better for the 2023 season in the weight room?
I mean, every summer you go in and work. I mean, there's not a lot that we necessarily needed to change, but it was more of what mentality we were bringing to the workouts and things like that. So I feel like we're on a better track for sure.
Yeah, I feel like Coach T put a good program in for us, and with the heat up being outside, sometimes it is too hot for us to go on the field. And the big word he's been preaching is us being adaptable, him critiquing the workouts so that we can go inside and do the same thing that we were supposed to do outside and things like that.
In the workout.
in the work.
Looking ahead of this season, is there one game you guys see on the calendar saying we need that one? Is there any team that sticks out that maybe left a bad taste in your mouth?
I wouldn't say any team, but just the first game of the season. Just always worrying about the next game on the schedule.
Yeah, I'd probably say about the same thing. Probably, I mean, after the first game, it's the next one. So,
Put you guys both on the spot one more time. What's the biggest thing coach has taught you over the last couple of years, and what you've taken from him? With he's got a wealth of experience from a lot of different places.
one thing that's definitely stuck with me that Coach Babs has passed along to us is always just keep your nose on the grindstone. No matter what we're doing, working in your playbook, watching film, just always putting that work in to be better for the next day, 1% every day.
I feel like one thing Coach Babcock has taught me is that it's bigger than me sometimes. It's not all just about me being the player I am. It's about me setting an example for the young guys and just leading through example.
Coach, you want to speak on that a little bit?
I was surprised that I got through to them and for anything with it. So I guess I'm
Saw
doing
the look on
something.
your, yeah, saw the
I was
look
like,
on
oh, I
your
hope they have
face.
something
Yeah.
with it. So, but no, I think what's great is you've got two great leaders, two great men that have come up with two different things that I've said, and I don't know if that I would have said the same thing, to that they would have said, and so I'm very very grateful that they can take away some nuggets that can help them be a better person, better player, better person. And it could be something that I say offhand. It could be something that I say in a big team meeting, and so I'm just kind of happy that something can stick through because, my hope is 20 plus years down the road, they're probably going to say the same thing to their kids when they do something as well. So.
Yeah.